Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
I'm Zane Glick. I'm a senior at Columbus North High School, and I'm the student body president and drum major for the Sound and Spirit North Marching Band. So the main goal that I usually have every morning is to just try and be as articulate as possible, and then just like not mess up. But of course that happens sometimes, and that's okay. Typically it's someone on student council. Last year I was also on student council, and when they asked all of us if anyone wanted to do the announcements, I was the only one who really wanted to do it. So I just kind of assumed that position, and then since I was a junior then and I'm a senior now, I just did it again this year. Yeah, definitely. I kind of have a history of public speaking and just kind of being a loudmouth. So, and I've been told I have a radio voice, sort of, so it's kind of fitting for me to do this job, and it also kind of works out since I'm the student body president as well. It's kind of nice to know that people, I'm one of the first voices people hear in the morning. I stutter frequently, and sometimes I just slur my words, and it happens. Yeah, plenty of times. So whenever I receive something new, it's usually just on a piece of paper, and I always like to proofread it and just kind of make sure, if I were to say it out loud, that it makes sense. But sometimes I just forget to do that, or I get there a little late and I have to fix it on the fly, or I accidentally say something that's not correct, and it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. I'm just the messenger. I remember the first day of junior year, I got a bunch of texts about it, and a bunch of people were like, "Is that you on the announcements?" And I was like, "Yeah." And for a while, it was kind of just like a thing that my friends had to get used to, and I've been made fun of for like the past, not really made fun of in a bad way, but just kind of clowned on for it. Like, a lot of people just know me as the announcements guy, and I'm fine with that, but it's kind of cool knowing that. Yeah, of course, if I didn't like it, then I wouldn't be doing it. At first I was kind of nervous because, you know, obviously it's in front of the entire school, and I would have to be there on time every day. But honestly, it isn't that bad, and it's kind of a way for me to make sure that I'm being responsible, getting the class on time in the morning, so it's actually pretty beneficial to do it. Whenever I'm not at school, I usually ask Leah Hartwell to do them because I think she has a good voice, and I think next year I'd like her to do it. She's kind of like an understudy, I guess. But last year I would have asked Evan Carr to do it sometimes, and that would always work out too.
I'm Leslie Weaver, and I am the art teacher here at North. I teach drawing and painting and visual communications. The name of the book is The Gloomy Cloudy Beach. The book is a children's book. It is just kind of about a little girl that finds a beach that is really gloomy and cloudy, and so she visits it all the time, and when she's there she starts having different adventures, and so then the sun starts to come out every day, and then more people start to visit, and then it becomes a really busy, popular beach for family and friends because she kind of gives the beach love, and so it becomes happy. I spent probably about 2 months doing the illustrations for the book. This was my first book to illustrate. The author, she is a retired librarian from one of our local elementary schools. She's from Columbus, and so she had reached out and asked me to help her out, and so I thought it was a really fun process. And then we are now we're getting ready to start our third book. We just finished our second one together that will be published soon, and then we'll getting ready to start a third one. Locally, you can buy the book at Viewpoint. You can also buy it online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Pretty much, if you Google it, the name of the book, The Gloomy Cloudy Beach, or the author, Janice Taylor, online, you can pretty much buy it anywhere online. And then, like I said, locally, you can buy it at Viewpoint.
I'm Mrs. McIntyre, and I teach English at Columbus North.
When I was in high school, I worked for my father, who is a real estate developer.
My name's Izzy Munn, I'm a sophomore. Over the summer, I worked at Sans Souci, which is a local thrift store here in Columbus.
My name's Lillian Landis, and I am a junior. I work at Adidas, and I've worked here for a couple of months now.
My name is Amelia, and I'm a sophomore. I work at Luca B Coffee Company, and I've been here for about 6 months now.
I basically answered the phones and did just general office work. I was the youngest one in the office, and funny story I have, my dad always threatened to fire me if I was late or did anything wrong because I lived with him. It wasn't the best experience of my life.
Well, here at Sans Souci, there's a lot of different things you could do. Primarily, I worked in books, which is where you'll look at books, you'll go through all the pages, make sure it's not tore or ripped or that there's anything in there, and then you'd send them off in these boxes to be placed on the shelves.
I do a lot of things. I do some cleaning. I make some of the cold drinks mostly. I don't do anything with espresso because that's for higher up people.
My favorite memory from that job is just everything I learned from the adults that worked there. And before I was a teacher, I graduated with a political science degree and was in the business world for many years, so I learned a lot.
Probably when we caught someone stealing once and they like threw a huge fit, literally fight broke out. It was so funny, but then the security came and it worked itself out.
One story in particular I can think of is one time I was working at the back door, which is where all of our collections happen. And the person I was working with that day had gone to do something else, and they had taken the walkie-talkie with them. And this person pulled up in a giant truck with a couch, but they were very angry, and I didn't know if I could take the couch or not. So I was just kind of running around frantically asking about couches.
Every day is different. On Halloween, we're not open on Sundays, and Halloween was on Sunday this year, but on Saturday, we all dressed up, and one of my coworkers wore a taco the entire day. I think he was there for like 9 hours, and he wore a taco the entire time. So that was pretty great. It was pretty funny to have people come through the drive-thru and then not know what we were doing, and then all of a sudden we're all in costumes.
I learned how to deal with other people, how to communicate with others in the business world.
I learned a lot about helping others because Sans Souci is a place where people from all over the community can come. So in this job, I learned a lot about helping other people.
I've learned that at any job, anything is quick pace, but if it's not forced to be quick pace, it's a little bit harder to get going.
I guess I've learned that there's a lot more in me than I thought there was. I didn't think that I could do like such long shifts on weekends and be able to handle dealing with customers as openly and talking to people, because you know, that's kind of scary sometimes, but it's opened me up and helped me get out there more.
It was difficult to balance my life and my job. I was a teenager, of course, and would have preferred hanging out with my friends and doing fun things, but had to go to this office and do adult type work, so that was sometimes difficult.
To balance work and school, I normally take off a couple of days so I can work on my homework on those days, and then I'll get to work then other days that I don't take off.
Oh, it's crazy hard. I do a lot of activities and I'm in a lot of classes, so it's kind of hard to balance it, but it's pretty fun to find time because this almost becomes a break for me.
My name is Mr. Hoover, and I am a math teacher here at Columbus North.
I'm Gretchen Babb, and I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Nicholas Bowers, and I'm a freshman.
So the idea for a therapy dog came from talking with students last year about their stress levels and how they're dealing with COVID and just hybrid and e-learning and all of that, as well as I was able to see it at a school I worked with during my time at IU.
It really helps us like focus and work through our work, and we're able to have like a little bit of a distraction when we're struggling in math class.
It can feel a little different sometimes. Like it gets distracting a little bit sometimes. Like you have to like move the dog, or you have to give it treats. But it's like really nice because it's calming. And like let's say there's a really hard math problem, and you're really stressing out about it. Sometimes if you just take a 20-second break, it just can feel like really nice to just like have a dog like pet and kind of calm down for a second.
The process was long, so Luna had to get her Canine Good Citizen test passed, so she had to basically be a very good girl. And then after that came her therapy dog training, and so that took about the entire summer, if not a little bit longer. And after she passed the therapy dog test, I had to submit the information to Mr. Clark and then to the district as a whole, and they all had to sign off.
I feel like she really entertains us in times when we're struggling a little bit in math, and it's a good break to have during the class.
I feel like it's a little less stressful because of the dog. Like, you just have a dog like either walking around or like laying down at the table. And I don't know, it just feels a little bit more like calm, like less stressful.
The student and teacher reactions, so the students first, I believe they've enjoyed having her. I believe she's been a positive input to the class and a great way for students to just, I guess, look forward to math class, to be put simply. And then the teachers, I believe, also enjoyed her. I have a few who stop by every day, every other day, just to say hi and get the positivity going to start the day.
I really think it helps me like enjoy that class a lot more. I look forward to going to that class just to see Luna.
It feels like really calm in his class. Like some classes, like it's really stressful. Like you have like so many questions to do, and like they're really hard, and like you get really overwhelmed. And with having a dog in the class, it just feels kind of like you can just take a break for a second.
Students are happier to come to my class now that I have a dog. That's for sure.
She's not distracting to other people, but she's like very like caring, and like she goes up to us and like greets us when we walk in the classroom.
I would say when she falls asleep and starts dreaming, it definitely does, because she's a very loud dreamer, so everyone can hear her. But I'd say overall, it only makes it a better experience.
My name is Martin Cox, and I am a senior. Being a first year for East is a huge thing. I grew up in a welding shop, and I grew up welding when I was younger, but now that I'm in the shop, I feel like I can really help, and I have a better understanding of how to get these things done and how to properly do them and manage my time better than most people. And I use that extra time to try to help my other classmates, because I know that it's a little bit harder and a little bit more complicated for them to understand what we're doing. So we go through 3 to 4 different types of welding. We do stick, TIG, MIG, and oxyacetylene. We learn other skills like getting certified in welding, having safety. We learn different things like safety on how to use equipment, like heavy machinery, grinders, plasma cutters, a whole different load of skills. There's a lot. We have dual credit, we do certifications. We're about to do a certification with structural steel integrity, and then we grind the plates down, we bend them, we do everything, and then around Christmas we will we'll get certified. Most important skill, it definitely have to be that you are steady-handed, that you know what you're doing, and that you like what you're doing, because if you don't like what you're doing, it's not going to be fun, and you're not going to look at it and be like, this is something that I want to work on and I want to get better at, and that's what you really want, because it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling until you get so good that you can make really good money off of it. My favorite part would have to be actually doing the welding, like when I'm in the booth. It's just me and my headphones, I'm listening to music, I'm getting my projects done, and I'm also able to do it well enough that I can help other kids. I think that welding is a huge industry, and there's other studies that say that we are going to need certified welders 25% more in the next 10 years. So I think that people should run to it because there's going to be a lot of money into it.
Hey, I'm Brianna Guthrie. I'm a sophomore and I make jewelry for an account called Beaded by Brianna.
Hi, my name is Sarah Gross. I'm a freshman and I go to Columbus North.
My business's idea is basically just to make jewelry that people can buy at affordable prices.
I bought jewelry about like a month ago. It went pretty well. I really like what I got and it's all pretty good quality too.
I honestly haven't thought too much into the future with this business. I just really like making jewelry and I like selling it, and I think people like the kind of stuff that I make. I started making jewelry when I was a lot younger, but I didn't start taking it seriously until more recently. And as I started wearing my stuff, more people started asking me where I got it. And then I realized people might like to buy some of the stuff that I make, so then I started deciding to sell it.
Definitely, I really like what she makes. I liked getting Beaded by Brianna jewelry because it's really good quality, but at the same time it's better than getting it from a bigger business, and supporting a small business is really nice.
This entire business is just me, so I don't have anyone that I work with. I make everything by myself.
Yeah, it's really good quality, so it's nicer to get it from her whenever you know that she put a lot of hard work into it rather than getting it from a name brand that might not work too well. So.
Prices for my things generally range between $5 to $20. It just depends on what it is specifically. I have an Instagram that is just Beaded by Brianna with a dot between each word, and I also am looking at opening up an Etsy account soon. Okay, ready for that? Yeah. It's Allie Wetcherak and
Kiera Edwards,
and we're doing Off the Court with BNN. Okay. Hold the guy. Okay. How do you get practice in during off season?
Well, we actually play for Havoc, which is a club team.
Right?
Yeah.
How do we get practice in during off time? Well, we have it like 2 days a week on Wednesday and Sunday for like 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And we do like drills, conditioning, and serving.
Yes. What are some other hobbies you do off season to keep yourself busy?
Eat.
Well, we eat, sleep, and breathe.
What? That's about it. Okay. What do you like and not like about club?
I
don't like the traveling as much, because on the weekends sometimes it's like a 3-day tournament up in like Kentucky and it can be a lot, because then on Monday you have school, so sometimes that's a lot.
I feel like club season is more competitive than school, so that's what I like. In what ways are club and school volleyball different?
There's a lot. Like, there's no traveling that much for like school unless you're going to like Terre Haute or something. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot more traveling.
More competitive, and there's a lot more competition where you go. What positions do you play on the North volleyball team? I played right side hitter and right back.
I did left back and sometimes right hitter.
What are you most looking forward to next season?
I kind of am looking forward to the summer workouts, even though sometimes they're awful, but like when you get up in the morning and you're like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like relaxing and fun.
You feel skinny after.
Yeah.
You feel very healthy. Do you do club volleyball? If so, where?
Havoc.
Me and Allie both do Havoc, and I've done Havoc since 3rd grade, so it's been a lot.
Uh-huh.
How do you stay fit during off season?
Well, I'm trying to get a gym membership, but my dad doesn't think I need it, but like I kind of do. Like I really want abs, you know?
I play travel volleyball. That's about it. Do you go to sporting events while off season? If so, what is your favorite to watch? I like watching basketball.
I like football and basketball.
Basketball is the only sport I can understand.
Last one.
Last one.
You think I can hear?
Yeah. In your opinion, is school or club volleyball more challenging?
Club.
I say club because
For
there's
sure.
a lot that goes into volleyball and a lot that you need to understand, whereas school is just annoying.
But the conditioning, probably school. I'd say school conditioning is harder.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it for today. Thank you for having me.
Wrapping it up on, what's it, being in?
Off the court.
Off the court. Period. Period.
My name is Feline Fox and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Carson Shoup and I am a junior here at Columbus North.
I created a design for a holiday card which was chosen for the official C4 design for the holiday card this year.
The Christmas cards come from our C4 class, specifically the graphic design and layout. It was the student Feline Fox that designed her card, and we all kind of pitched in to help her manufacture enough to hand out to the community.
Graphic design and layout is a fun class which is pretty interesting, where you can learn the fundamentals of designing through Adobe programs like Photoshop and Illustrator.
There's a lot of freedom when it comes to design. You get to experience a lot of new Adobe products for the first time, especially in fundamentals of design. That's really our intro class. You get the freedom really to kind of design your own thing. Yeah, we have projects, but when you have free time, we usually have quarterly assignments where you're free to find your own tutorial and try your own stuff.
The card looks like a scene with a snowman and a bridge and some buildings behind it, and it's supposed to depict a Christmas village. It has, on the outside, it has a border that's whitish blue like snow, and then on the inside there's a layer with a snowman and a bridge, and on the background there's a layer with houses and a Santa with his sleigh at the top.
It took a few days for us to make all the cards for the community. It was a lot of cards, a lot of assembly. The card had a lot of layers involved, and so it took a few days.
So the process of making this card included first the designing, which was done by me on my computer, and it was very stressful. And the second thing we did was our cards were chosen, and mine was chosen. And then we had to engrave them on the laser engraver, and then the last and final step was putting them together in a sort of assembly line where we glued the cards together and put them in envelopes.
I'm really into more of the tech side of this. I use the laser engraver a lot, and I really just helped with the cutting out part of the card.
The cards go to people like retired teachers and people from other counties who also participate in the C4 program.
My favorite part about the holidays is really just the activities, the Christmas joy that's around Columbus, especially the snow. The snow is a lot of fun.
My favorite part about Christmas is celebrating it with my friends and my family.